So today we're going to talk about Gloria Steinem. For a table of contents, we are going to talk about who is Gloria Steinem, Gloria's background, her rise to activism, what did she do for the feminist music movement, and where is she now? To start off, who is Gloria Steinem? And here are some few pictures from her activism days. For a basic definition on who is Gloria Steinem, she is a feminist activist and journalist. He was one of the leaders and spokesperson in the second wave movement in the early 60s and late 70s. She is a co-founder of Miss Magazine, and she has dedicated her life to women's liberation. One of my favorite quotes from Gloria Steinem is, "Don't think about making women fit the world, but think about making the world fit woman." I went through all of Gloria Steinem's quotes, and this one just really spoke out to me. I just think it is really covers about what she did in such a unique way. So now we're going to talk about Gloria's background. So Gloria did not have the best background growing up, but I think this is what made her such a strong woman that she is today and made her so love activism so much. And Gloria Steinem was born on March 25th, 1934 in Toledo, Ohio. Her parents were Luth and Ruth Steinem. Due to her father's traveling sales job, her parents got a divorce in 1944 when Gloria was very young, which left her to take care of her mentally ill mother. And she did have an older sister, but the sister was not really involved. So it was kind of all on Gloria to take care of her mother and take care of herself. And when she graduated high school, she attended the Smith College in Massachusetts, where she studied government, and her sister took over taking care of her mom. So I think this was the first time where she really got to go out there and not have to worry about anyone else and just, find out what her true passion is. I'm sorry, that is my cat. She graduated with magna cum laude in 1956, and this earned her the Charles Bowles Fellowship, which enabled her to spend 2 years studying and researching in India. And at her time in India, this really inspired her interest in activism, which she would later lead her to the women's liberation movement and the equals rights movement. So now we're going to talk about her rise to activism. How did she become a nationwide activist for feminism? There was pretty much 4 main things that happened during her professional career that led up to her becoming a women's libertarian. So she started her professional career as a journalist in New York, writing freelance pieces mostly towards women's audience. We kind of talked about this in class, but writing like what to cook your husband for dinner. And she really struggled because she was tired of writing substantial pieces and not being respected in the office. And she really pushed for writing political and social reporting assignments, but they always told her like, no, this is what women want, like you're going to do this. And I think this big part in her career really pushed her like, I want to make sensational pieces that I actually care about. And just that need to do that really pushed her to do so amazing. So in 1963, she was hired by Show magazine to go undercover and report a Hugh Hefner's Playboy party and kind of talk about the Playboy life of the waiters. And she revealed it to not be so glamorous and actually really sexist to be a Playboy bunny waitress. And she thought maybe this was going to be like her big move into writing something political and substantial. But after she found it really hard to be taken seriously after this article. And then Gloria continued to work hard to get where she wanted to be valued and respected. And in 1968, she helped find the New York Magazine, where she became an editor and political writer. Here she reported on political campaigns, progressive social issues, including the women's liberation movement. Steinem's first step into becoming a spokesperson for Women's Libertarian was in 1969, where she spoke a Speak Out event to legalize abortion in New York. She shared her story where she had to go overseas to get an abortion when she was only 22 years old. So now we're going to talk about what did she do and what impact she had on feminism. So in 1969, she began to attend numerous protests and demonstrations for the women's rights movement after her abortion speak out. Her good looks and strong intellect made her perfect for the movement's spokesperson, and the media loved her, everyone in the movement loved her, and she was just a perfect diagram for women's liberation. After the feminist activists staged a takeover of the Ladies' Home Journal in 1970, arguing that they only offered housekeeping articles had nothing to do with the women's rights movement. We talked about this in class and watched a documentary about it where they went into these magazines and went into the editor's office, were like, we don't want to learn about this, like write something that's actually meaningful and not sexist. And after this takeover, she found the value in writing a women's rights magazine to have a media outlet that was towards women and actually substantial content and not just housekeeping information. So in 1971, she founded Miss Magazine with journalists Patricia Carbine and Letty Pegerman. I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong. And in 1972, it became an independent magazine. And Gloria was a writer and editor for Miss Magazine for over 15 years. In 1972, Steinem, feminist Betty Friedan, Congresswoman Belly Abzug, I'm so sorry if I pronounced this wrong, and Congresswoman Shirley Chisholm founded the Nationals Women Political Caucus, and this organization continues to support gender equality. In 1971, Steinem co-founded the Women's Action Alliance. This promotes gender equality and multiracial children's education. In 2004, she co-founded the Women's Media Center to promote a positive image of women in the media. In 1977, she co-founded the Pro-Choice Political Action Committee, Voters for Choice. And in 1990, she helped establish the Take Our Daughters to Work Day to empower young girls to learn career opportunities. She did a lot for the feminist movement and worked really hard to create multiple different outlets, not just for women, but multiracial organizations, and focusing on children so they can get proper education. And I remember when I was a kid in elementary school, we had Take Our Daughters to Work Day. So I'm really proud that she is still affecting women today from her activism. So where is she now? Gloria Steinem became an award-winning journalist who has written several books, including her bestseller, My Life on the Road. In 2013, President Obama presented her with the Presidential Medal of Freedom, one of the highest civilian honors someone can receive. And in 2017, Rutgers University created the Gloria Steinem's Indo Chair in Media, Culture, and Feminist Studies. My cousin actually went to Rutgers University, so I think it's really cool that they presented her that award. To end the presentation, I wanted to say that Gloria will be remembered as the woman who dedicated her life to not making women fit the world, but making the world fit women. I wanted to thank you all for joining me today, and I hope you learned something new. And if you're curious to learn more about Gloria Steinem, I have a ton of references on my PowerPoint, but the best one that I found was the National Women's History Museum article about Gloria. So thank you for joining me today. And that is the end of my presentation.